Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 6. I hope everyone is doing great today. I know that I am, as always. So we're hopping right back into our game save here, right back into all of the mods, I should say. So we have done a little bit of work on stream as well as off camera, so I'm going to round you guys through those items really quickly here at the start. If you are interested in catching any of our live streams, the link is in the description down below. We do stream on Mondays and Fridays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Twitch, so feel free to check it out. You can catch recaps over there. I know they only save them on Twitch for so long, so definitely check it out while you can. But there is a lot to go through. So primarily when we do stream, we're just doing building. We don't really dive too much into anything additional, like any mods or anything like that, unless we're doing some tedious tasks. But we mainly do the building, which is honestly the most fun, and it just takes the most time to do. That's why we don't typically put it over here. But as you can see right off the bat here, our home base, our original tree base is completely gone. I ended up taking it out, completely took out a bunch of the trees around it, and we have created this central walkway up to our main area here, which is really, really cool. I think it was long overdue, and it just adds a nice touch to the space here. So we have our main path here. I have this set out. This is going to be a future project, probably the next episode. I don't think we have time to get to it today, but it will be some farming stuff. And then from farming, we do need to get into some additional food processing because food is becoming an issue for us. We just need to figure it out. But then from here, we come down our main walkway and we have our grandiose bridgeway into the kingdom that we have established here. Very reminiscent architecture as our main base that we have set up, along with our refined storage area and our main towers into our kingdom. But yes, so a lot of this gabbro brick or gabbro stone along with some mossy cobblestone. It looks great. I love the accents on it. And then obviously some willow wood on the top. And from here, it looks awesome. Like, I think it really, really looks good. Now, honestly, the biggest part of these builds is just getting the front fascia done. Once you get the front fascia done, it's pretty easy to get the rest of it done because it's pretty much a copy and paste scenario. You just keep going with the same exact pattern all the way through. But yeah, this is going to lead down. I did do a little bit of terraforming on this side as well. This part was mostly off camera. I just took out a hill that was here. But this is going to be a nice little settlement area. I think that we'll get up and going. Have a couple little houses here, fire going. Maybe get a blacksmith in here and stuff like that. Just a cool little almost like village way into our kingdom here. And then obviously from here it'll branch out into separate pathways. But yeah, this is the big thing that we worked on. Pretty cool, I would say, and I think it turned out really good. A few tweaks here or there we'll have to have down the line, but no need to worry on that now. The other thing that I did get up and going is over here. So since we did redo this whole area, some stuff had to be shifted around a little bit. We have our immersive engineering setup still over here, haven't moved that at all, but we did need to move our pathway a little bit here. So as you can see, we have a nice path that comes up and over the water instead of the bridge, the drawbridge that we were using before, or the rope bridge that we were using. We are now using this very, very nice overhead bridge. I think it's a cool design. Very simple, very straightforward. Nothing too crazy, honestly. Now over here is what we're probably going to get into either the next episode or the following episode. This is a layout, as you can see. It's just all dirt for the time being, but I was just throwing some ideas around off camera as to an area that we could get set up for food processing. We definitely want to have something better to help feed us. Now, we've been living off of apples and bread and pretty much anything that we could find that's easy to come across. But why not take advantage of the different mods that we do have in here around food? So like Pam's and so on, and cooking for blockheads, so on and so forth. So this is going to be the space for it. The idea is we'll have the main building and then kind of a walkway around it, like a raised walkway all the way around. And then obviously on the other side here, I have connected it up to our other path over here. So finally we have that connection all the way through right here as well. That was something that was long overdue. Now, to be fair, we do fly pretty much everywhere, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. And we obviously have put our railway system through our kingdom on hold for the time being, but it is still a project in our back pocket to get to eventually. So coming along great. Haven't done much with the bees, so we won't touch in that area right now. Now, coming back over this way is where some of the other work has been done. So, last episode, we got into mystical agriculture, and I definitely appreciate the amount of support and amount of views that we got on that video, even though I had no idea what I was doing. I kind of knew what I was doing, but not really. So I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised at how it turned out. So I'm glad that you guys did enjoy it, or at least it seems you did enjoy it. Maybe it's just enjoying me trying to struggle through what we were trying to get accomplished here. But I did go ahead and get some stuff set up for future looking for a mystical agriculture here. So over here, we got this set up in the last episode, this nice little like gazebo type area for our pedestals and our altar here. I just went ahead and I put some leaves around it just to add some, more depth to it, a little bit more color to it. And then over here, I set up a whole new area. Again, very, very straightforward using the polished, or the weathered limestone, I should say. This is the polished version that you can make in the stone cutter, but we used weathered limestone here. I think it looks very, very nice. Very similar to the Gabbro bricks that we're using over there, the Gabbro blocks that we've been using on our other builds, but it adds a little bit more gray to it, which I think is nice. But anyway, so I got this area set up because what we are going to be doing is we are going to get into botany pots as well. So I've laid everything out that we need here. Once we actually get things set up and ready to go, I'll show you how I have it ready. I have it linked into our refined storage system. So once it's ready to go, we should be set. But I will show that to you guys so you guys know how to do it yourselves as well. It is very, very straightforward. It's very similar to any other thing that you're trying to bring into your refined storage system. But anyway, I think that covers pretty much everything. I don't think I really did anything else other than moving some of the elemental craft stuff. I moved it over to our refined storage automation area, since that is going to be looped into all of that. So with that being said, I've rambled on. I think I've covered everything, 7 minutes in, but we are going to get back into a mystical agriculture. So where we last left off, we had gotten our stone seeds up and going, and it's been giving us some stone essence. Now this is nice, but I really don't have a use for stone essence currently. And really the better idea for us, rather than making a big plot of land where we farm off of, even though it would be extremely cool and extremely nice to see, it would make way more sense to use botany pots. Now, botany pots are very similar to, what is it, the hopping bonsai or the bonsai pots? I don't know if they are one and the same or like a spiritual predecessor to one or the other. Not sure how that all works, but it's a very similar idea. It is a flower pot that you put a certain type of soil into. Typically it's going to be dirt, but certain plants need different soils. You put it in there and then it will grow automatically within the pot, much like if it was planted in a garden or on a farmland like how we have in front of us here. Now you can get the hopping ones, which I believe it's what it's called, right? Hopper botany pot. It's the same idea. However, it can automatically harvest the crops for us, and it'll put it into an inventory adjacent below it, which is nice. That's actually really, really nice to have. So pretty much you could throw a plant of any kind in these bad boys. We could pull it up here. I think, maybe not. I don't think it's actually going to let us. Use. There we go. So you can make different styles of them. First off, you can dye them to be different colors, but you can also see what you can grow in here. So if we wanted to grow potatoes in here, we could grow potatoes. If we wanted to grow blackberries, we could grow blackberries. I mean, the items are endless. 136 different pages with, what, 4 on each page. It's, what, probably over 500 different things that you could possibly put in these botany pots, which is awesome. I mean, you could even put trees in here, which is super, super awesome. But like I said, for us, we're sticking with mystical agriculture. That's what I want to start with. So, where do we need to go from here? Well, first and foremost, we probably should get a botany pot going that we would want, and so that I can run you through all of our setup here. So right here, I have a pretty standard basic botany pot. All it is terracotta with a normal flower pot from Minecraft in the middle here. And so, not too bad to make. Now, Those are, again, very entry level. Anyone can get them up and going, but it doesn't automatically harvest it for you. So you will need to keep on top of that. Now, the hopping ones, or the hopper botany pots, are more so what we want to go for here. Now, these do require you to get into Botania, so they're a little bit farther down the line, but I think that we can get to them today, for sure. So, in order to get going, we are going to have to craft up this hopper hock flower, which we've used in our Ocean Outlast Expert pack before, and we are going to need a few things for it. I don't know. I think we can get some of this red root going. I think we're going to need about 7 of these, which is nice. This is just some redstone and some grass. Again, pretty straightforward. Grass you can get using shears or some kind of silk touch on grass. Not too shabby. We are going to need a rune of air and then light gray and gray petals or flowers. So we're going to head over to our area right here for Botany. And we have our light gray. All we need is our normal gray. Now, we probably should sleep through the night. It's letting us know our colonists are all tucked in. We are going to get back into our mine colonies eventually. Again, it's a lot of tedious work that I typically try to save a lot of the building for streams, just because there's a lot of components that have to be given to the builder in order for them to be able to make what we need here. So, but anyway, okay, so we should have our flower bag. Is it in our backpack? There it is, flower pouch. And we should have some gray flowers in here. Perfect. So, definitely recommend getting a flower pouch if you don't already have one. These will automatically store all of the different flowers that you pick up in the world from Botania. Very, very convenient. So, I'm trying to recall offhand. Yeah, we can just stick them in and get to these like so. That should be fine because we're not going to need... Oh, these were light gray anyway. I grabbed the wrong flowers here. This is what we need. Which it does look like we're pretty low on them, so we're probably going to have to make a few here. So let me do a little bit of our flower duplication, I should say, and we'll be right back. All right, so we should be all set here. I do want to just show you real quick, for those of you who don't know what the duplication is basically all you got to do is take a petal from Botania, throw it on the ground like so, and then bone meal it. It will automatically make a double high flower. You just take some shears, and then just like so, you went from 1 petal to now having 4 petals. So it's pretty much a quadruple of the petals that you would have. And it's pretty easy. We had an automated system that could do it before, but it was a little bit laggy if you left it going for a long period of time. So ultimately, we took it down, and I'm not using it. That's why I just did it manually this time. But just for reference, that is how you do it. So we should have everything we need now. I do have a rune of air already ready to go. If you are curious on how you make this, pretty straightforward, and this is actually going to get you 2 of them. You do need mana steel, you need mana powder, just normal string, feather, and then a piece of carpet. And I already forget, we need our petal apothecary, which, you know what? I don't think I set back down. I did not. We had taken it up because we are making a station for our railway right here, and it's going to go right over there. So we are going to need a new spot for our petal apothecary. And on top of that, we are going to need a bucket. Now, this is something that we had made on stream per recommendation of a viewer of the stream, so thank you very much for that recommendation. It is the Emperor's Chalice. Now, it's not too hard to make, just some gold, emerald, and a bucket, but the hardest thing is the void tier. For this, you're going to need a nebulous heart, which is an enderman drop, pretty rare drop, a gas tier, a slime pearl, which is also a very rare-ish slime drop, and then a piece of lapis, and you'll get that void tier. And basically, this is an infinite source of water. It's an infinite water bucket. So what we can do is just use it like so. So we don't have to continuously be picking up all of the water to put in here. Let's take a look at this recipe once again. So we are going to need gray, light, rune, and that. All right, so we can do that. So gray, light, rune, and that. And then we're also going to need seeds, which of course, why would I have seeds ready to go on me? That would actually make sense. All right, we'll throw in our seeds, and just like that, we have our hopper hook, which is awesome. Now, it does consume your rune of air, so obviously, make sure that you are able to make more of them. For the time being, I'm going to place these in here. I'll probably get the rest of them up and going off camera, but this is good enough to get us our first hopping botany pot. So back over here we go. What we're going to do is grab our botany pot here. Just like so. Now, I do want some purple dye because purple is my favorite. Now, the purple doesn't really actually look that great. I'm not gonna lie. With dyeing the botany pots, I think the closer look to it is actually blue, surprisingly enough. At least for a deep purple. All right, so it looks like we're going to need some lapis. Maybe. Oof, I'm struggling here. There we go. All right, get rid of that, and we'll do that. Yeah, it just looks a little bit more like purple. I'm not gonna lie, doesn't it? It doesn't really look blue, it looks purple. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. But anyway, so this should be good to go. Now all we have to do is put some dirt in it. Actually, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to turn it into a hopping one, and hopefully it does not affect it. Hopefully we can use these together to actually make it. So if we go to the hopper one, are we able to use a dyed one? Yes, we can. Okay, cool. Sometimes it's a little finicky with it that you can't use a dyed item on a few further down recipe, but for this instance, it does look like it is perfectly fine. So we're going to get our blue hopper botany pot, which is awesome. There we go. And we did make the advancement. Now you're thinking with hoppers. So we'll put this down. Obviously, right away, it's not going to do anything, but it does have that awesome texture at the bottom of the pot, which lets you know this is the hopping one. Now, you might be wondering how our setup is for this. Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. So I'm going to take out some of our floor here, and I'll grab our shovel just to show you guys. So these hopper botany pots are placed on top of barrels, just as a buffer, honestly. Now from this, which I probably should have some dirt on me so I can fill this in. Oh, I do have some dirt on me. Look at that. Thinking ahead. From the barrel, we have a importer, which is then just directly tied into our refined storage system. And each one of these spaces that we have around here is set up exactly the same way. Now, the importer obviously goes into the cabling, and then the cabling goes all the way around under to our refined storage setup. And I did put an elevator in here, right here. There we go, which brings us down underneath, not only to our setup for our bridge here, if you guys remember, our create bridge, but also our network receiver, and then all of our cabling, which goes up and up to our setup up there, as you can see. So again, very, very straightforward. Nothing too difficult there. All right, so with that being said, what are the next steps? Well, I do want to progress towards an item that we would actually use. The stone is really cool, but realistically, I mean, we don't really need stone seeds. It just doesn't make sense for us. So I would like to work towards emerald seeds. However, they do take supremium essence and emeralds to get. Now, the supremium essence, I don't recall if we went over this in the last episode or not, so I'll run through it relatively quickly here. So supremium essence can be obtained via changing inferium essence through several different tiers up until the supremium one. So we're going to jump down to the lowest tier here, which is the inferium. So you would start with inferium essence, which again, you can get this via ore generation in the world or from killing mobs as well. You'll take 4 of these around an infusion crystal, either a master or a normal one. I'll get to that in a second, and it'll get you the next tier. So from inferium, you go to prudentium, I believe it's pronounced. I'm going to butcher some of these. And then you go to tentrium, and then you go to imperium, and then you go to supremium. I think this naming is actually a little bit different than what it was in the previous version I played. I think they did change it. So if you think about it, you need 4 to get here, and then 4 to get to the next level. We can do a little bit of math here, right? Just to show you what it would take to get to 1 supremium. So to get to 1 supremium, you're going to need 4 of the imperium. So that's 4 right there. Now to get 4 of the imperium, you're going to need to get 4. Well, you're gonna have to times it by 4, right? And then times it by 4 again, I believe, and then times it by 4. I think my math is not showing through perfectly here. Overall, it's gonna take quite a bit to get there, because it's 4 for each. So it's 4 to get 1, and then 4, 8, 12, 16 to get the next. So I think it's to this 4th degree. You don't times it by 4. Holy smokes, my math is not shining through at all. Let's just leave that there. Let's leave my poorly documented on the spot math there. I'm sure you guys will leave it in the comments down below how all the math works out. But we've done it before, so what we're actually going to do is just jump into that right away. So like I said, mysterious sailors have been spotted to the southeast. That's actually pretty interesting. Maybe we'll check that out in a second. But we do need an infusion crystal. Now, there is the master one, which takes supremium essence and supremium gemstones. However, it's kind of a catch-22, because unless you have supremium already, you can't get this. But it does have unlimited uses, which is really, really nice. But you can get the infusion crystal that has 1,000 uses, which is really, really easy to get right off the bat. So we're going to grab that. Pretty straightforward. I don't know if we can actually put... You can put indestructibility on it, actually. Ooh, okay. I wonder if we could just do that, because if we can do that, then it would definitely save us a lot of time and resources rather than having to make one every single time. Also, I'm pretty positive our villager died in here, which is a little bit sad. I don't know what happened. He is fairly well protected there, but he somehow just disappeared. So we do have our Forbidden and Arcanus mod in here. And if we do this setup just like so, we get an Eternal Stella. Now we've been over this before. This can allow indestructibility, which is super nice. So we're going to take our infusion crystal. We're going to put it with this. And I think it'll make it indestructible. We'll have to test it out. If it doesn't, I'm going to be extremely bummed that we wasted it on that. But hey, I'm always here for the purpose of testing and seeing what capabilities we can have, so then hopefully you guys can use those tips and tricks as well. So with that being said, we are going to use this. We do need to get into the right inventory here, and we're going to go to Mystical Agriculture. And as you see, we have quite a bit of inferior essence. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if this will work exactly right. It would be really nice to get it set up into our refined storage system so we can automatically craft it. Let's try that, actually. And we should be able to. And I don't know if we can put the exact one in there. I think we can, and it'll work exactly as we want it to. All right, so we'll do that one. And then obviously we got to do the next tier up. And we'll just want to put that in there as well to make sure that it is using the right thing. We'll go to the next tier after that, which is the Imperium. And oops, okay, nope, Imperium. And we'll put that in there as well. And then finally the Supremium. Just like so. All right, and now if we take all of these and we throw them into our system, I think we should be able to craft it up. I don't know how many we could craft offhand, though. So in order to get the seeds going, the emerald seeds, we do need, what, 4, I believe? So let's see if we can craft 4. All right, you are missing that, so I think what we have to do... Ooh, actually, I think I just have to put this into our system. I think that's all it is, actually. Let's do that. It says missing that many. I hope you don't have to have it each time, unless we can do not exact. Let me tinker with this a little bit. Alright guys, so I did not have any luck getting this to work within our refined storage system, unfortunately. If you guys have suggestions, definitely leave them in the comments down below, for sure. But I tried to set these up so they would work, even had them use the infusion crystal here that's indestructible. It says indestructible now, but also I've made this many of the Prudentium essence, and it's already bumped it down that many uses, so I don't know if our indestructibility is actually going to work. We'll have to see how it goes over the life cycle. If we get down to 0 and it's just gone, I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to keep testing it out. But anywho, I couldn't get it to work, even with switching between on and off for the exact mode for the crafting. It didn't seem to work. The issue is around the infusion crystals they set themselves. When refined storage goes to actually make all of these, if you say, oh, I want 4 supremium essence, well, then it says, oh, well, we're going to need 300 and something of these infusion crystals, and it won't reuse that item over and over again. Now, I'm sure there's different ways to do this, different options other than necessarily using this refined storage crafting patterns, but for now, we're going to keep going on this path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep crafting here. It won't take too much longer. And then once we are good to go, I'll bring you guys back so we can get our emerald seeds up and going. All right, guys. So pretty interesting turn of events here. So I got everything crafted up, but with the infusion crystal, what ended up happening is I went through just to test it out to see with a indestructibility on it if it would break once it got down to 0 uses left. And I thought it had, but come to find out that, well, it's actually a glitch. That's weird. You saw it in my inventory there, and then it's in here now. But as you can see in here, it shows 100 or 802 uses left. Well, if I take it out and put it in my inventory, it regenerates because it does have that indestructibility on it. It just doesn't regenerate when it's in the crafting like it is there. So this is a great way to use it so it will never break on you. So highly recommend using the infusion crystal with indestructibility on it. Just keep in mind you do need to replenish it in an inventory after a period of time. But as you can see here, we have everything we need to get going. What was this? Dragon scales. To get our emerald seeds up and going. Now, I don't think we have to keep it in the same exact pattern. We're going to find out real quick here. We do this, this, and that, and then we place our seeds in the middle. It's going to do its thing here. And just like that, we have our emerald seeds, which is perfect. Now, the next thing we're going to want to do is get it into our pot, obviously. And there's a couple different things that we could do with this. So, as you guys know, when we planted our base stone one over here, we did put some essence on the dirt below it to allow it to have increased speeds and just different attributes as well. You can find some of that stuff within the book here, talking on the basics and essence farmland. Now, it just starts on the lower tier. It doesn't really get into the details on the higher tier. So that's what we're going to go off of for the time being. Now, I believe that we can put in, oh, here it is. Actually, here is where I want the details on it. This is very, very useful here. So this will show you all the different modifiers that will go on the farmland when it's put into the botany pot. So if we were to have supremium, it would really bump up the time. So those time decreases are how long it cycles through its growth. So realistically, let's try to look through here. The magical one is like the best. All the other ones are about the same. How do we get that soil? That is the next question there. This one you make with insanium and Gaia spirit ingots, and then overgrowth seeds from botany. Wow, this is really getting down the line on it because you do need insanium, which is supremium. That we definitely cannot get to that today. But could we get supremium farmland? I think we probably could, because this probably would be another good one to try out. So insanium is less 130. Insanium is that. Supremium is less 120. So insanium would be the best one, but supremium is not that bad. And it's only cycling through those few, so I don't know if we actually are able to use it on any other type of soil. But anywho, we are going to do that. The supremium farmland, I think that was it, right? Yeah, farmland. Okay, so we could do this. You just need farmland, which is pretty easy to make. Obviously, we just got to be in the right inventory for it. We should be able to make this up. Do I not have a tool that I need on me? There it be. Okay. Utilize this bad boy. We'll get our farmland. And then obviously we need our supremium. which it's not going to craft in the way that we would really like it to. Obviously, we could do it like so. Oh, we're already there. Okay, there we go. Well, we have our Supreme. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And then we should be able to get our farmland up and going, just like so. So, we should be able to plop this in there like that, and then add our seed to it. And as you can see, the growth time is roughly about 2 minutes, which is not bad at all. Now, the other thing that we could do on top of this is get some of these growth accelerators going. So it grows the plant above it faster. And it says a range of 12 blocks. Now, I'm not 100% sure how that works, and we could start with a base one, and I think we would have what we need to get it crafted and see how it works. Now, obviously, we would need to go underneath to get it going. You do need a prosperity gemstone in order to get this up and going, just like so. We are, like I said, going to start with the base tier. It's probably going to be the easiest for us to do right off the bat. And that is going to give us 3 of the inferiums. Now, we are going to want to head downstairs and see what we can get set up. Or we might be able to just dig underneath here and get this set up. All right, so we do have enough space here. We're going to plop this here. And let's see, does that bump it up a little bit more? It's kind of, it's hard to tell, honestly. Or does it need to be right underneath it? That is the, I mean, if it needs to be right underneath it, then that's not the best. But we're really not going to know until it resets in the time, because there's about 2 minutes when it did its first thing through. So let me run for a second here and we'll test this out. All right, guys, we're just about there. So this should show us if that block is helping us out here once it goes and cycles through its growth. It doesn't look like it, so I'm guessing it probably needs to be right underneath it for it to work. But as you can see, it broke it. It already went into the barrel and already went into our system. If we check in here, we have our emerald essence. And I think that's all we get from this one for the time being. There's other things you can get from it, like you have a chance to get emerald seeds and fertilized essence as well. But it doesn't seem like this is working right off the bat, or it's at least extremely, extremely minimal that we are not noticing it. Or if it has to be directly below, then we're kind of out of options for it because we're using the hopping bonsai. And it did say directly below it. Yeah, it grows the plant above it faster, which is interesting. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to do some testing with it. It's dying out here, that is. Because we are way over time. We're at 32 minutes, and we need to wrap up this episode. So, guys, thank you so much, and it is raining. Hold on, before we do the outro, let's sleep through the night here. But thank you guys so much for tuning in today and hanging out with me. I feel like we're making some great progression in mystical agriculture. Like I said, we will get more of these bad boys set up. We have a whole area here ready to go for all the different ones. We will get some really, really cool ones up and going. We're also going to hop back over and get some bee breeding going as well. There's tons of stuff to do along with our little farmland, as well as food production. Just a long list of stuff to get to. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. If you are new here, you do want to follow along for all of that new content coming your way, definitely hit that subscribe button and bell notification. I'll let you know every single time a new episode is posted here on the channel. As I mentioned earlier, I do stream over on Twitch. Check out the link in the description down below. And we do have a community Discord set up if you feel like hanging out and chatting with a cool group of people. I do try to spend a decent amount of time over there as well, so feel free to check that out in the link in the description down below. There we go, I got it right. But other than that, guys, thank you once again for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it so very much, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy.